Hey, um, so it's not often that I tend to make videos just talking about things, because, well, that's fucking boring, but nonetheless, sometimes there's times where you just have to talk about things, and one of the things I want to talk about today is artists' depression, that kind of thing, and what comes with doing what you want to do, and I don't know. I felt like it's a good idea to get this out there so other people can hear that they're not alone, but also at the same time they can understand that there's a way to push through these things. Nonetheless, sometimes you just kind of get the feeling of wanting to quit, and goddamn have I been there a few times. I've been drawing since I was, well, before I can remember, and I've done commission work for about 5 years now. Now, in recent days, my commissions have kind of dropped off, and it shoots your confidence like a motherfucker, is the best way I can kind of put it. And, well, I've been reconsidering a lot of things recently. Hell, I'm in university for art, and a lot of me doesn't even know if I want to be here. Most of me doesn't. If I could just get a fucking job and go out and just have a place to myself or whatever and just not have to fucking put up with this shit anymore, I would. But getting a job is nigh impossible for a shitty art student with next to no experience. And it's kind of one of the things I've accepted. I mean, I still apply, of course I do, but, you know, it's one of those situations where you start questioning whether you really want to stay with this, and you start wondering what the whole plan is and what you want to do with your life, because up until now I wanted to be an illustrator, but now I'm questioning whether, well, if my art isn't really that wanted now, then is it going to be when I go on to do that job? Is someone going to want an animator who isn't good enough? Is there anything I can do to improve? And God knows I don't even know anymore, because there's a stage where you just kind of forget what to do, and I'm gonna be working on it. I'm gonna do more anatomy practice, I'm gonna do more posing practice, but the thing is, if things don't turn out eventually, then I don't know what I'm gonna do. And fuck knows, I've been doing this for a very long fucking time, and I'll probably keep doing it, but there's just these moments of mistaken clarity and despair, really. There's times you'll sit there and wonder, was it worth making the risk? Should I have just went ahead and done English, because I succeeded at that? Or IT, because hell, that can make a lot of money. And I'm good at IT. But, you know, and here I am, in debt for my first year of university, not knowing whether I really wanted to do this. I really felt like I had to in the end. Like, there was a lot of people kind of relying on me to do well, and it's what caused me to fail my fucking A-levels. Well, I didn't fail them, I just did fucking horribly for me. And it's one of those things, you know. There's a lot to think about when you're becoming an artist, and there's a lot of things that you won't want to do, and hell, I don't want to do half the things that I do anymore. There's no joy in it for me. I wish there was, but there's very little. And you just kind of learn that unless you do fan art, or you fucking just do what an audience wants you to do, you're not gonna get anywhere. And that takes the fun out of it. If you constantly have to be drawing fan art, or what everybody wants, at that point, is it your art? Is it really your art? Like, you know, it's like I have arguments with the GCSE and A-level history, well, A-level art subjects evaluation anyway, because they aren't even about art, they're about what you can write about art. There's no judgment for your level of skill, there's no judgment for anything. Hell, you could be the worst fucking artist in the world and pass a GCSE in art. All you have to do is bullshit your way through it. Because it's not about what you draw, it's about what you write about what you draw, about how many evaluations you do of someone else's artwork, about practically copying their style, because unique styles aren't wanted. And I can understand that to a certain degree, but when it gets to a later stage, and you want to do what you want to do, there's no room for it. There's things I can understand, like obviously learning realism, learning different techniques, but when it comes to the point of practically copying, then what's the difference between your art and someone else's? It's like realism. Why would you draw something exactly like a photo when you could draw something different to that photo? You might as well go out and do photography if you want to do something like that. But no. This is the kind of place we're at. Artists are expected to basically copy, and it's a tough world out there because the politicians think that our subjects shouldn't be funded. Hell, most artists are in debt because, well, schools and universities and colleges aren't funded as highly for the art subjects as they are for, say, a sports course. I can understand why sports courses are funded. I mean, you need a lot of equipment, but still, so does art. You need paints, inks, paper, watercolor paper, brushes, poster paints, inks. Did I already say inks? I might have already said inks. Gouache, watercolors, specific brushes for each type of media, pencils, mechanical pencils if you're into those, erasers, quills. The list goes on. Sketchbooks. The list goes on and 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 on. But does it ever change? No. Politicians will have you believe that we should just be focusing on maths and English, and whilst that's also a point, it's not quite right. Because you walk out in the street, right? You see a sign, say, for a takeaway or some shit. That sign was made by someone. Say a graphic designer or a typography artist. Everything's made by an artist. Hell, my computer setup, I'm looking at it right now. Someone had to design this on paper before it was made. Someone had to decide on what shapes they wanted the curvature to be, what color they wanted the lights to glow, what design they wanted to do it with. And I think people don't think about that kind of thing. People don't consider artists anymore, because there's that many of us wanting to do what we want to do, that people just take it for granted. A world without art would be a world without nothing, a world without color, a world without expression of self. Hell, you can even put art into different categories. Theatrics are art. Fucking video games are art. I don't care what you say, someone had to design a character concept. Fucking singing is an art form. Dancing is an art form. Making movies is an art form. Photography. And then it's all just so underrated by everything. Anyway. What I'm trying to say is, shit'll get you down. Of course it fucking will. Especially when you have depression like me. And, well, you know, it's a matter of what you're doing, you know? Sure, there might be people out there who don't take us seriously. Sure, there might be too many people out there who take us seriously. Sure, there might be a form of pressure behind you the whole time this is going on. But a lot of us just have to find a way to push through. The system's fucked. The education's fucked. The way you have to scrape bottom price commission to be able to live is shit. But we have to prove the government wrong, we have to prove people who think art is not needed wrong, we have to just keep on going with what we're doing. And that's the way that artists do things, I suppose. Now this rant could have been nothing to you, it could have been a lot to you, you could have related to it. But I just wanted to get it out there so people would understand. I don't know, I kinda took a derail halfway through, but still. Anyhow, that's all I need to say right now, so. I apologize for this video in between speed paints and such, but I just needed to voice my opinions on some things, you know? And hey, if you've got a similar opinion, hit me up, because it'll be great. The artist who did the art in this would be Hollow Designs on Facebook. You can follow her, she's a good friend of mine. She does amazing artwork, she even has a Patreon if you want to donate. All links are in the description. Thank you very much, and I'm outie.